Hello everyone and welcome to my channel. I'm Georgia and this is Exploring Full Woo. Today I feel guided to talk about masculine and feminine archetypes. Sorry if I sound a little stuffy. My youngest decided to bring home a cold from school. And sharing is caring and the whole family got it. So I'm still a bit stuffy, but as long as I can get through this video without coughing, I'm good. Okay, so we often are defined or feel that we are defined by being a man or a woman. I'm going to say right off the top that I know it's a continuum. There are archetypes, the divine masculine, the divine feminine, which embody certain traits. But we are all a mixture of these things. I might say that a male nurse embodies a lot of the divine feminine. And maybe a quote-unquote female CTO defines what we know now as the divine masculine. The masculine as I know it are doers, are protectors, are enablers. The divine feminine as I know it are pure empathy, pure compassion, are the nurturers, the caretakers. That said, everybody can have any or all of these attributes and more. Right now, the divine feminine is rising. More and more women are being called to speak to these things, to speak their truth. I am Gen X, as I think I've said before, and right now in my life, I have a very strong desire to connect with and help others. I think that is part of the divine feminine. Again, any person who identifies as a man can have that exact same sentiment, same feeling. I've written a few notes that I channeled as I was trying to understand this situation. So I'm probably going to look down and reference them a couple times just to make sure that I am getting as much across as I can. The thing is, we live in a patriarchy. We, as souls, have decided to have a human experience in this duality. So by duality, I mean left and right, up and down, maybe black and white. And I don't mean these as cultural touchstones, excuse me. I mean it more as opposites. We chose to have, and my cat wants to come in just a moment, please. Okay, cat. So helpful. Such a pro around here. And if I don't crack the door, he, yes, wants to leave again. In versus out. We got it all here. So this duality created a separation between the divine feminine and divine masculine. And we have been pulling further and further and further away from one another. The future that's coming is that we become closer and closer and closer again. The thing is, the divine masculine and the divine feminine are a balance of one another. Okay, so there is a fulcrum, a balance point in the middle that is a balance point of each. And ideally, we all live sort of within that balance point. That is what we need to come to. But we are so far away from that right now. And in some ways, I think we needed to get this far in order to appreciate where we can go and where we want to go. Where do we choose to go next? So for me, as a mother, I'm raising 2 teenage boys. And it's complicated to be male right now. It's complicated to be female right now. They are afraid of saying or doing the wrong thing all of the time. They are hyper conscious. They're also giants. They are both 6'2" and 6'4" respectively, and still growing. And how they hold space and how they act around others in the huge frame that they are is something that they are consciously thinking about all the time. They both have humongous hearts, but like any of us, make mistakes at times. And part of my job as their mom is to help them navigate these situations and help them try to see things from other people's perspectives. I truly feel that men and boys are pretty lost right now. They somehow don't know what their role is outside of aggression. And we are seeing a lot of aggression right now, unfortunately. And unfortunately, it would seem that humanity needs to go to this extreme in order, to understand themselves. I see the divine masculine. I see men as being the foundation, the scaffolding of humanity. And again, I'm going to keep saying this. Everybody is somewhere on the continuum. Okay, I'm talking about archetypes. So I'm not saying to be a man, you have to be this way exactly. No way. But as an archetype, I see men as the container. I see men as protector, but it's more as a sentinel, not as a warrior or go out and fight. I see men as providers in the sense of what does the community need? I will help find it. That kind of thing. I see the divine feminine as, well, the mother figure, of course, the birther of new ideas. And again, lots of men have amazing ideas. Lots of humans have amazing ideas. It's not just women. We're talking about the ends of the bookends of the spectrum, okay? So I see women as the gatherers of information, the synthesizers for the greater whole or the greater good. And the complement to that is the male aspect of, okay, we're going to put this into action. We're going to make this happen. And we're going to support you, and you are going to support me. That is what we are headed towards. But there's a lot to figure out still. Mostly we need to figure out community. Mostly we need to figure out compassion. Compassion covers both ends of that spectrum and all the way in between. allowing and holding space for one another to explore these extremes and figure out how to bring that information in to figure out what it is we want and what it is we need to let go in order to progress and evolve as one huge community that supports one another. That makes it sound easy in some ways, and I know it's not. But we all need a chance to dream a little, to entertain possibility, to open up our perspectives, to open up and to say, what if? With a sense of excitement. I'm here at this time because I want to keep bringing these concepts into our collective consciousness. YouTube helps with that. I think that we all have the capability to communicate with one another and share these ideas. And we may not agree. That's cool. That's okay. What we could be doing is hearing out all of the ideas and then, again, using that word synthesizing, bringing it sort of all together, a little bit of this, a little bit of that. Okay, we don't want this. Okay, we do want that. Bringing that all together as a balance to one another. I think we, as in humanity, need to focus on our future, which also means focusing on our children. Making sure that we nurture and enable and contain in safety, in security, so that they are able to grow and flourish. We want all of our children to flourish. And I think we've somehow forgotten the importance of children. They're our future, and somehow we know this, but we haven't really been able to look far enough forward to enable the care that they need now. Okay. I'm just looking down to see if there's anything I've missed. Yeah, I mean, I don't think the divine feminine is going to take over. I don't think that's what we need. I think it's rising because we need to put that sort of feminine energy on the scale to lift up the male energy, right? So that we are in commune with one another. We are at level. We are at that fulcrum point. I don't exactly know how we get there other than focusing on our children and focusing on local community and creating community where possible. Thanks for listening to this. I hope it sparks some thought in at least one person. I'm putting it out into the ether because I care deeply about this time. And as dark as it is, we are in a birthing. There is always a point. I shouldn't say always. I don't know every woman's experience. But there is often a point in the birthing process where a woman just says, I can't do this anymore. This is too painful. This is too much. And they allow and they surrender. And their body does its thing. And out of that pain and surrender is the most beautiful thing that we all create. We are in the contractions phase right now. We're not even at the head breach yet. Or as my sister-in-law calls it, the ring of fire. But at the end of this is something so amazing. But we've got to go through the process. I love you all. Thank you for taking the time to be here with me today.